Hi everyone, welcome back. I am headed up to Thompson for my first race of the year, the Icebreaker at Thompson Speedway Motorsports Park. As you can see, a little rainy out, but I think we'll get something in this week. Welcome to Connecticut, or New England in general, as it's raining while it's sunny out, which is genius. Well, I'm not sure if you can hear me, but I'm here for day 2. I wasn't supposed to be here, but we decided to come because we got the day off work, and I came out and practiced. I wanted to try something to get bite in the car, and it worked pretty well. I wish I could have put my GoPros in, but my mounts were all missing. I gotta go find them somewhere. I'll hopefully have them for the feature tomorrow, but I mean, we're not topping the speed charts at all, but we are decently fast, and it is very consistent, and it's very comfortable. So I'm probably gonna load her up, open up the grill, and start cooking some hot dogs and enjoying my Saturday, because we don't run heats or features until Sunday, which is tomorrow. So I'll catch up with you all then. Okay, hold up. I need to apologize to my viewing audience because I have not been good at filming races lately. Call it a lack of staff, call it a lack of planning, lack of effort maybe, I don't know. But for the 2 days that I was at the Icebreaker, because spoiler alert, I'm in my shop and you didn't see any racing footage yet, we got rained out. So, basically, I'm in the shop just kind of doing some maintenance work to it in the week between when we go racing again, because we got rescheduled to the Saturday after, so 6 days essentially from when we were supposed to race. So I'm back in the shop. The trailer's not really unloaded, but the car is here, as you probably already saw. And I don't really want to touch it because it was pretty quick. I mean, we still got a few little things to iron out, but again, practice didn't go that great. So if we had filmed something, you would have filmed me essentially saying, oh, the car's breaking up really bad, and watching a mediocre lap time. And then you would have seen another practice where I went out and had even worse because I only did 1 lap. And then you would have sat there and watched us film. But when I'm at the track and I've got, the crew, everybody working on the car to try to get the thing fixed, it's really difficult to sit there and say, okay, we're on a time crunch, let's set up cameras. No. The harsh reality is that I have a small YouTube channel and I'm filming with a cell phone or a GoPro half the time. And hopefully the microphone that I have taped to me is actually working so you can hear me for once. So it's really difficult for me to put out racing content, especially when we get rained out. So I would have had somebody filming from the outside, and I would have had at least 1 or 2 GoPro angles, but it didn't happen yet. It will by the end of the video, I assure you, but it hasn't happened yet. So again, we're going to start doing a little bit of maintenance, and hopefully we'll be ready for Saturday, because I think I found something. I can't show you what I've done because then I'd be giving away my secrets, but I think I found something. I got her up on my scale pads, and if you're a long-time viewer of the channel, you'll have seen these works of the carpentry arts, I should say. No, they're just kind of plywood I slapped together, but what I did was I did it so that I could roll onto pads, like scale pads, easier But at the same time, my garage floor, you can see it's in, let's see here. There's one section, there's two, there's three, there's four. Is that the same section there? Yep, that's the same one. There's five. So yeah, my floor's in about 5 or 6 different sections. So obviously that's not going to be in any way level. So I've got different thicknesses on the bottom to shim the pads up. I took a string level to my garage. See, these are a little taller. Probably can't. Then you come around to this side. This side is a lot taller. It's taller than my shoe. Before it was about the size of the sole. You know, I measured, I think, and it said that the left front and the left rear are somewhere around 1.5 inches difference in the floor. And for the length of a car, which is not very big, that's a lot. Like, I've showed you some of the cars and equipment that I've had in this garage in earlier videos. And if my race car fits and I can actually walk down every corner and not have any problem, this thing's not that big. So, yeah, level scale pads do wonders. And you'll see, if you looked in previous videos, I had different pads. I had to rework these because I bought these scales. Now, if you had a race car, scales are an incredibly useful tool, and I think it's absolutely necessary. So I bought these. It's actually wireless. They were like the cheapest wireless pads that I could find. No free ads like usual, but they're a decent, you know, cast aluminum, or I don't know if they're cast or not, but they're aluminum. Wireless pads. They're only 1.25 inches tall, and they got beveled edges so that you can actually use them on flat ground. The old pads that I was using were 2 inches with no beveled edges. They were just square pads. So I had to adjust these pads so that it would be 1.25 inches instead of 2 inches, because I like to measure my ride heights on the pad as well, rolling the car forward or backwards to measure the front or rear ride heights. So there's a little tip for you. I figured I'd just share that. Another good tip for racers is notes. This is a setup sheet that my dad made, I don't know how long ago. I found him because I ran out of sheets. And he made this little booklet of sheets and has it on this clipboard. So I said, you know what, I'm going to use this. And it's got everything, almost everything conceivable to write down for notes. But taking good notes when you're driving race cars is key, because sometimes you can't remember what you've done to a setup, and you can just go, okay, I'm going to go back and study my notes. I have a whole nother binder over here that's full of notes that I keep with like a 3-ring binder, all sorts of other information. And I'll write down what I try for setups, you know, tire pressures, caster camber, left side weight, rear weight, toe, spring pressure, all this, you know, corner weights, all that stuff. I write everything down that I know. But on the back side, which these is kind of overprinted by something else, but I will write how the car performed and what I think will help it, and then maybe I'll try that, and then I'll write another note saying that last note, yeah, disregard, or, you know, that actually worked. So take good notes. It'll help you in the long run. So essentially what I'm going to be doing is just going through the car, checking it, nut and bolting it. I'm going to stick it on the scales. I'm going to take my notes. I'm going to see, you know, what I wrote down before. Obviously, it's a blank page because, no, you can't see what I because I'm paranoid. And I'm going to, again, go over the car since they gave me an extra week. Take my notes, scales, and just stick the car back in the trailer and go back to the racetrack, because the car was pretty quick. And I've been racing for way too long to say, you know, I'd really like to try this and that and the other thing and just try too many things at once, and that's just not a good idea. I mean, I'm trying something right now, but I haven't gotten to the track for long enough. I haven't gotten it in competition. I haven't seen it in action when it comes to being next to other cars or when I need to pass somebody or race somebody or something like that nature. So again, this is just a simple rain out, do what we can to make sure that all our stuff is in order before we go back to the racetrack. And hopefully when I go back to the racetrack, I actually have time and the proper equipment to put my cameras on the car this time. So we'll see at the track. I'm going to scale this, and I know that's probably pretty boring and you're not going to see anything because I'm not giving you no numbers. So more time lapse, or I'll see you at the track. You know, your choice, but I'll see you at the track.
That incredibly annoying sound you hear is pea-sized hail hitting my truck. We're back at Thompson. It's Saturday. I genuinely feel bad for these guys leasing the track, because they kind of have to do this, you know? They don't really have much choice, because if they don't do this and they don't try everything to get the show in, even running at like 8 o'clock at night plus, they don't make their money back and we don't have a show. So it's like, do we live with it or do we, you know, just kind of not do it? We got to just kind of take the good with the bad here. So I took the car out for one practice today, and wasn't so bad. I mean, I was just kind of lounging in the truck. We were as fast as last week, and the car felt worse. I don't know how that happens. So it's probably all in my head, and we're just kind of waiting it out. I don't have anything else to report, so there's your weekly update at this point, because this video is taking me like 2 weeks to make now because of the weather, and it's still not cooperating. I'm about to fire the truck up and watch some YouTube because I'm bored. ceremonies. Spit and rain a little bit. I think it's pretty much stopping. It's only the 6th time that it's rained today. So that's good. Back in the shop. It's about, well, just shy of 10 o'clock at night. We were there for, I don't know, 12 hours or so. I got to give them a lot of credit. You know, the people who run the show up at Thompson Speedway for the Oval program, they don't own the racetrack. They're just guys trying to keep the Oval track alive, leasing the joint, and their ass is on the line financially, and I feel bad for them. But we got the show in. It was great. For me, it wasn't so great. The car did not perform with any of the changes that I made to it, so I think it's time to go back completely to the drawing board. And I got to start over because it's just not working. The basic overall dynamic setup, whatever you call it, of this car just doesn't work. And I've changed springs, I've changed shocks, I've changed crossweight, I changed bar load, I've changed trailing arms, I've changed everything in this car, and it just doesn't, it hasn't fixed what's wrong. And there can only really be a very small number of things that are wrong now. So I think I'm just going to overhaul the car completely. I'm going to go back through my notes and see what worked and what didn't, and I'm going to just move on from there because, to be honest, I'm really sick of chasing this thing, and real tired of fighting it and trying to make it work a certain way, and it just doesn't work that way. So stay tuned. Hopefully I will have some sort of news about this thing in the future. I think I'm just going to end the video here because we finished 4th tonight. I hope that the GoPro footage came out well, which you'll know before I know because I'm recording this before I got a chance to look. And we had to fight. I mean, there's no two ways around it. We had to fight, and we had to fight really hard. And I swear, if I had a car that handled and did everything that I wanted it to do, and I had to drive that hard, I probably wouldn't lose. And it's tough because there's such a short schedule that the learning curve is so steep. You know, you have to perform. And when there's 30 cars showing up every week, if you want to win a title, you want to win races, you have to perform every single week. If you finish outside the top 5, and heck, even the top 3 maybe, that ain't good. So I got a few tricks up my sleeve left. I'm gonna try a few things, and I'm gonna bring it back and see what happens. And if what I try doesn't work, then I'll just sell the goddamn thing. All right, so anyway, thank you all for watching. I really appreciate it. I apologize for the lack of content, but I also got to thank my cousin Eric. He helped me with filming. He grabbed my phone and said, hey, I'll film for you. And I grabbed my GoPros, and I know that one of them was running at the end, and the other one I used in the heat race. So I actually got some heat race content for once, which is nice. But I'll have this video up, and we don't go racing again for another couple of... Sorry, I got to put my wedding ring away. I usually don't wear necklaces, so... Well, I'll be back in another month and a half or so with another racing video, but until then, I'll find something to do, and hopefully you'll enjoy it. So thank you all for watching. I appreciate it. Subscribe if you can, because I do put out some stuff that's mildly entertaining. Tell your friends. I would appreciate that as well, and I'll see you next time. Thank you all.